We're back with another episode of the Unranked Podcast. This is Christian Humes. We have Alex Marinello.
Yup.
And Tom Caswell.
Ahoy, hoy.
Dan should be joining us later. We had a scheduling issue, and so we'll see when he pops in. Guys, it's our 250 every time as we just say the numbers, I know it's only going to go up by one every week, of course, but man, 253 without a week ever missed. 253 weeks.
Have we
straight.
not missed? We've never missed
one week.
We've had
not
it's been late by like a day before, probably like a dozen times over the course of that. But
or we've doubled up in recording and had one go out a week later, but we've recorded it 2 weeks. But we've had something go out every week.
It's incredible.
Wow.
There is a podcast episode to match for the number of weeks that we have done the show.
Yeah.
Regardless
at minimum.
of if it's come out the next week or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
At minimum, yeah, because we've got bonuses and part 2s and part Bs and all that. It is getting to that point where I get the number. I have to be like, it's 253. I'm getting the numbers jumbled. And there was a time where I was like, doing numbers, and I was like, it's 234, 235, and I was like, no, it's 243, 240. Like, I'm getting the numbers jumbled now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm turning 30 soon in a year, so
wow.
it's just,
Tom's finally joining the club.
Huh.
He was just a babe when he started this show.
I know, but now I'm the age you are when you started this.
Really?
Wait.
2016, you guys would have been 18. Sorry, not 18.
18. Yep.
You would have been
18,
28.
baby.
You would have been. How old would you have been in 2016?
We were probably about like 28, right?
Yeah. No, 2016, I was 29.
Yeah,
When in
I turned 30 in 2016. No. I turned 30
When were you
the year
born?
after. I
No,
turned
you
30 in
turned 30
2017.
in 2017, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Okay. So I'm nearly at the age you guys were when you started.
Well, no, we were 20.
Right.
Yeah, we were both 28, turned 29 that year.
Yes.
So yeah, you're the same age.
And that's I'll be 29 in 2
Wow.
months. Yep. Brooke will be 30 this year. A cougar.
Wow.
Wow.
Awesome.
30.
Very cool. Very
Crazy.
cool.
Yeah, 30.
Well, a lot to look forward to. Let's just hop into this week's Pokemon. Alex, can you guess what this week's Pokemon is?
Porygon 2.
Come on. You got to leave that in the past.
Something, yeah.
Wrong
something
generation.
from this gen. Yeah, something from
All
this
right,
gen.
Porygon. Okay, not Porygon 2. So, Green Generation 3 Part 2. So mid-generation. What was it last week?
Last week was the grass starter, Trico.
Right, what was its name? Trico. So Pineco.
That is a
Pineco is a
Pokemon.
Pokemon
It
that
is
we
a
did last
Pokemon.
month.
You know what? It is
all
a
right.
Pokemon. I cannot fault you.
Leaflet.
Much closer. I don't. So I'm just gonna. I'll just show my phone here
Barky.
to the video, simply because I don't been reorganizing stuff, so I don't have everything set up the right way to screen share.
Okay.
But it's Grovyle. This is the update.
Grovyle.
Oh, I didn't. Oh shit!
It's good. It looks good. I like it.
As we were going into this, I thought I could have sworn Grovyle was the name of the third one, but I guess I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Now, Tom,
I mean, we all know that you don't
your
know what the
video
fuck
has
you're talking
gone
about.
green. I'm not sure if it looks like that on your end.
Not for me.
Yeah, it is. It's all green for me, and my screen is one recording it. Hopefully, that doesn't pop up that way, but you might need to you might need to adjust a little
Purple for
HDMI
me.
dongle. I don't know.
That or you just went colorblind.
No, it is all green.
Am I
Here.
good? Am I? Oh.
Infinite
Green
unranked. We have an
City.
infinite unranked screen going right now.
That is definitely not what's happening for me, but
Yeah,
So
it's not-
okay,
not
well
for
then
me either,
hopefully
so.
it'll be fine. We'll see.
hopefully
Otherwise,
we'll be fine.
everyone will be watching Tom in the green mist tonight. So speaking of green, Grovyle, I the thing I think that works for Trico is that he's very similar because he's a salamander. Because he was like a gecko, and Charmander is like a salamander. They have a similar design aesthetic, but if this is where Gen 3, when they start to experiment more with like more objects and things attached to the Pokemon, like it starts to get a little bit different. Like, look at the long blades on his hair and his arms. It doesn't look out of place for today's Pokemon, but at the time, that was kind of like, oh, there's a lot more going on. I feel like if this was a Gen 1 character, he would have maybe had like a blade on each arm and like one long blade and not all of the other, large leaves.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's good. I like the color scheme. It's a Grovyle is, it's a good name for the Pokemon. He looks tough, kind of like Charmeleon does.
Yeah, I'm
looking
at these things because I think last week we dabbled around the idea that this is the best of the starters in terms of design, and I got a little tease of the rest of the starter lineup, and I think this middle design is my favorite.
I probably agree.
All of the starter lineup. We'll see.
Now, can you guess where its name comes from?
It grows.
And it's a serpent.
And it's a serpent?
Yeah, I don't know why Vyle, Vyle, why does that think makes it serpentine? Reptile. It is tile. Okay, Vile tile.
Yeah. I was wondering if for a moment there, serpent had like there's another name for serpent that was Vile. So I was like, oh wait, what? Is this something? I don't know.
Like a lizard or whatever.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Trico gecko. Oh, right. Yeah. There you go.
So there you go. Very straightforward, kind of basic, reminiscent of the previous generations, but you can kind of see the newer design aesthetic coming through. It's one of the rare occurrences where, to me, this is my favorite of the lines is the grass starter. That never really happened. I still didn't pick it because I just prefer water is kind of overpowered.
Have you? I mean, you've definitely never picked the grass, but Tom, have you ever picked the grass starter?
Absolutely. I picked for sure. Absolutely. Well, with Sword and Shield, I picked Grookey. And last generation with Sun and Moon, I picked the Owl.
Oh, I've never picked anything but fire.
Yeah.
So I've always picked water, but when I played Heart Gold Soul Silver, I picked Chikorita. Just because I was like, oh, well, I'm going to do it in the remake. And then when I did Black and White 2, I also picked, what was the name of the grass starter on that one? It was Oshawott, and the other one, Tepig, Oshawott. I'll have to remember. But it was the Snivy. I think it's Snivy.
Yes, it is Black and White, yeah.
Snivy. So, which also is kind of similar to the Trico line. Because he actually becomes Serpentine. So,
and I was getting them confused in my head.
Yeah,
the evolutions before I was like, no, that's Snivy. I think I might have picked Snivy at one point. I've picked all of the starters because I've like replayed Pokemon, or at least been like, you know what, I'm going to replay Black and White, or I'm going to replay X and Y, and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to switch it up.
Yeah, big time. Whenever they've done the sequels or the third game, when I would get them, I would always, because and at that point played the first game through, I would do the whole like, I'm going to get to the first gym so that I can use the trade service, and then I'm going to trade so that I have all three starters, and I'm going to play the game the way you want to play it, where you can actually have all the starting Pokemon. Sure. Because it sucks that you could never, in the past, you've never been able to get them. Now, at least with online trading, very easy to do.
And that's the thing, is that very quickly I had all of the starters.
Right.
In Sword and Shield. So it kind of doesn't really matter anymore. It's like within 2 hours, I have all of them.
Which was great. I liked having all of them.
Yeah, 100%. Like, actually, well, we'll get into it when we play games. Talk about playing games, but.
Well, I mean, we can just jump right in now to talking about whatever the hell you want to talk about. I want to bring something up that I watched.
Okay. Oh boy!
Sure.
So last week I had to do a recall of my opinions of Assassin's Creed. I had to to do a recall on those. I have another thing that I've recently stated I would not watch. I did not like it. It's not Mad Men. Don't get excited.
Yeah. I know. We all know your opinions on Mad Men. Go on.
But maybe I've thought maybe I will try it again now. I tried to watch Schitt's Creek multiple times.
Oh, here we go.
Because everyone I know won't shut up about the show. No one will shut up about this show. I tried to watch it so many times. The first episode, everyone was so unbelievably obnoxious and such a stereotype that I couldn't get past it. And Therese was like, I don't know what to watch. And I was like, I have something to do. And I just turned that on for her and left the room. And then she just, of course, leaves it on. I come back up. She's 4 episodes in. I'm like, you're actually watching this garbage? And then I'm playing Assassin's Creed sitting there, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, just very briefly. I'm sitting there on the couch
how are
playing
you have 2
Assassin's Creed on my phone.
Oh, there it is. Okay, got it.
Playing it on my phone. Yep. And as I'm watching the show, I'm like starting to laugh. And I'm like, you know what?
Oh, here we go.
Pretty good. And then
how it all begins.
Since we last talked, we watched the whole series over the last week.
Holy cow.
And I
you
can't tell you
series.
the whole series. I can't tell you what a wholesome show that was. As much as it reminds me
wholesome
so much of The Good Place. Like in that I kind of started to care less about like showing up for the laughs and more like I just want to know what's going to happen with these character stories.
Right. It's not. There are some episodes that are like not bust the gut laughing funny, but are like there's so many situations though that are just hysterical to me, and I love David's relationship with his dad. I mean, David's relationship with everybody is.
Yeah, the show definitely at the beginning didn't seem like it was a David show, but it feels like it became much more focused on David and his dad. But show. God, they're so good. It was.
There's one scene. There's one scene when David. We watch it on YouTube every once in a while. It's like 20 seconds long. It's a cold open. David, he looks in the mirror. He's like, all right, and then he goes and walks over to the bed, and everyone comes in and goes, "Morning, David," and he goes, "Oh, what are y'all doing here?" And it's like, it's your birthday. And they give him a cake, and they go like, Stevie? And David's like, Stevie? Like, what is Stevie doing here? I will say, I think David I liked, not to shit on it, but I liked, not to shit on Schitt's Creek, but I liked pre-relationship David more than relationship David. I just thought he was, I mean, to me, I think because I just like a curmudgeon, and I think he was very curmudgeon-y.
Sure.
Pre-relationship. So for me, I liked him more when he was like hating on everything and everyone.
He gave you more laughs for sure with that, but then I think I liked him as like the bridge between normal people and then his like psychotic family at that point. Right. And his relationship in that show is it's like so heartwarming, which I was just like, which is why I wanted to just start the show with that. If you want something like wholesome to watch that's new so that like it's enjoyable and you're kind of getting that like serotonin in your brain of like, oh, I'm watching something new that I enjoy. This is great. Yeah. Can't go wrong. Schitt's Creek. So I take back the things they said that it wasn't a good show. I was wrong. It's a very good show. I was very wrong. So
you were very wrong.
I was very wrong. It was really good.
Britt and I think I might have said this already. Britt and I finished The Americans. Highly recommend. Awesome show. Then we started watching Fargo, and we finished seasons 1 and 2.
Great.
Loved it. Seasons 1 and 2 were amazing.
How many seasons have there been? Do you know?
There are 4. From what I've heard, season 3 and 4 have a little bit of a drop off from 1 and 2. So we haven't started 3 and 4 yet. And the other show, but highly recommend. I mean, season 1 and 2 of Fargo were amazing. And we started watching Bridgerton, which I feel like everyone's talking about now.
Brooke watched the whole thing, and I kind of caught a lot of it. Out the and a lot of people want Featherington or whatever his name is.
I was going to say that's the only thing I know about this show is that he was trending today. This guy from a show I'd never heard of was trending to be the next James Bond.
Who was trending?
The main guy.
The main. Hastings.
The Duke of Hastings. That's not his name.
The Duke of Hastings.
But he's Featherington. His last name is Featherington.
The actor.
Oh, got it.
Oh, wait, is it?
I don't know. I have no idea. I've never watched the show.
Fuck.
Tom, I don't think it's Featherington.
Because their names are all Featherington, Bridgerton, Waterton. Like
they are
the
Featherington,
fucking
Waterton,
name.
All the tins. But no, I don't think his name is Featherington. All the tins. We got the Duke of Hastings though. He's cool. He's really cool
dope.
Guy.
He's dope as fuck.
Yeah, he's
Simon
great.
Bassett. Simon Bassett.
There you go.
Right, she keeps calling him Simon. Right.
Simon.
Roger
cool.
Jean Page.
I like that. Like they do. Have you noticed, Tom? I don't know how much you've seen.
Sure.
But whenever they do like the classical music, it's classical versions of.
Yeah, it's the same thing Westworld did. Yeah, they made Renaissance. No, the covers are awesome, dude. The covers are awesome.
They're great.
Yeah, they're really
cool.
Good.
They're really great.
There's nothing wrong with aping a good idea as long as you do it well.
It totally fits.
Idea. This is literally Gossip Girl meets early 1800s Britain. Like it's Gossip Girl.
But obviously,
Keep the show.
they're casting people with no, it's not
right, the
a
Duke of
white
Hastings is
show.
black.
Everyone is
Right,
a
it's not a
bunch
white
of
show.
different
He's
races.
playing-
So
Exactly.
it's almost like an alternate
And,
reality version of.
Well, it's as
that
if
time period.
there was no racism at that time.
Yeah, it's as if that part doesn't matter, you know, which
I
It's
think
as
was the right way to go.
Yeah, who cares? So like, who gives a shit? Right, like the George III's wife Charlotte is black.
But
Who
ugly
cares?
people still considered ugly in the show.
Oh yeah.
Tom,
But
you
there's
can't
still
fix
a-
ugly,
there's-
Tom.
You can't fix ugly.
Exactly.
We all
Can't
know
fix
too well
ugly.
you can't fix ugly.
So
Tom, we have to have
Right.
something that we can hate people
To
for.
you. All
Come
right,
on.
every
Right, we have
race
to
is
we have to
accepted.
separate-
You can be
Right.
you can be fat. That's cool.
Well, no, Tom,
You
there's
fucking
still-
ugly fucker. Get out of my
Yeah,
sight.
I don't know. A lot of people don't like
Subhuman
fat
scum.
people. Let's come on.
No.
and there's still
I hate myself.
There's yeah, we know. And there's still rich versus poor. Obviously.
Yes.
I mean, this is heavily focused on the rich. That was so funny when I forget what her name was, like accused one of the servants as being the Gossip Girl character. And the servant was like, "Are you you think I got time to be a gossiper around your bullshit life? Like I got enough shit to do. You think a
'cause
servant is doing this? Go fuck yourself."
Because the kind of there's a narrator who I think is whoever played the original Mary
It's,
Poppins,
Julie Andrews.
Julie Andrews. She narrates the
awesome.
show, but it's tied into the fact that there is. I didn't know Gossip Girl's about this. There's someone that's writing like a gossip
Yes.
blog, and no one knows who's the writer.
Yes, and you find out
Okay.
who it is in the last season.
Gotcha. I did not know
It's
that.
basically
that. Was
that. It's basically the 18,
It's like Ghost
17th
Rider.
century version of it.
It's
Yeah.
not like Ghost Rider.
And then basically
It's-
this no, it has nothing to do with it. I was just going to agree with you. But what is her name? Miss Highsworth or something?
Oh, the
Feathering.
seamstress.
No,
Featherington.
the Gossip Girl. Who's the Gossip Girl in the show?
Oh
Never
God,
watched Gossip Girl.
Waterstone. I don't know.
Waterstone. Yeah, something like that. But it's just like she just gossips about everything going on at these high society parties and like
Perfect.
everyone's relationship. That's basically what Gossip Girl did 20 years ago or 15 years
Perfect.
ago, whatever. So
I
There you go.
liked what I caught, and I was
Right.
compelled by it. It's very. I think it's compelling, but it is kind of soapy. It's
it's
hot.
super soapy, Tom. It's
It's hot.
Shondaland.
Yeah, but it's
It's
I-
Shondaland 101.
but I think it has some more contemporary ideas that don't.
Fine.
I think of like the 90s and early 2000s soap, and like I just think
Right.
it's a more contemporary version of that. And I think that the casting and the artistry of the shots and the music elevate it beyond a simple classification of a soap opera. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're not done with it yet. But yeah.
Oh, you didn't finish?
No, we
Oh.
but we're
Came
a
out on
little
Christmas.
afraid to finish because we got like nothing left to do. Nothing left to watch.
Well,
Running out of stuff.
I have been watching
Oh boy.
Futurama.
Oh yeah.
I promised Dan, I was like, in the new year, everyone gave me shit. And January 1st, I booted that bad boy up. And we're in the middle of season 3. Brooke was like, oh yeah, I'll watch it. And now we're like both totally into it. This show is fucking hilarious. I am laughing my ass off.
It's really good.
And it is as smart as the best of The Simpsons so far. I don't know if there's a dip in quality at some point.
I think
but
it gets better later.
that's excellent to hear because the first couple of seasons are phenomenal. And yeah, I'm both ashamed that it's taken me this long to watch it, but at the same time, I'm really excited. Like, oh,
Sure.
fuck yeah, like I got this ahead of me, like kind of thing.
At the same time, it's nice. Like sometimes, like when I've totally missed out like that at this point, it's like, oh, I get to watch this thing. Everyone, it's like, cool. I have something awesome now to watch.
And I have
in my
10
back
seasons
pocket.
of it. And yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm about it. So I'm excited to continue with that.
I want to jump in and talk about this thing. So Tom talked about this.
Oh, there it is.
So I've been playing a lot
Whoa,
of.
Chris.
Yeah.
You have to say what it is.
Well, it's going to. Just gonna explain.
It's an audio
But-
podcast, though.
Right. Sorry, you're right. I do get used to. Luckily, hey, just a reminder. all the videos
So
this
what Chris
month,
just
like
showed
last
us
month, are
was-
free. You can watch them on our YouTube
Yeah.
or our Patreon. You can go check them out there.
Good point.
But I'm holding the
Good point.
Backbone controller for your iPhone or Android phones, and it's compatible with Xbox, PlayStation, and all your mobile games. What I have been doing lately a lot, because it works so well, it's incredible the latency on this thing. Probably because I have a wired internet connection, and then we also have like additional access points that are wired in the house. So like there's no low Wi-Fi anywhere either. I'm playing all the time on my phone because Teresa and I'll be watching stuff upstairs on the TV. And then I'm just like, I'm playing on my phone or I'm playing on the iPad. I'm putting the iPad on the coffee table. And then so I messaged Tom because I remember he talked about the Razer Kishi and this one. So I want to know which one he suggested. And Tom definitely suggested the right one with the Backbone. I will say, Tom, it seems like the back of this, the Kishi, is it more rounded the back like controller grips? And less like
it's
a
flat.
Oh, it's flat like this. Okay. I was going to say
if you think that is flat, the Kishi is
worse.
Very flat. Yeah.
Okay. So then I'm very glad I went with this, because the only thing I would say like that I think could be improved is the joysticks are fine. I would say they are like Joy-Cons, but they're fine. I was worried they'd be too loose or small, but all of the buttons have a good clickiness.
Yeah. That's great.
Like even the top buttons, they're not too mushy or anything. So I was really surprised by the quality of it. But like this thing, Alex, you put the freaking controller in it. It works so well. It fits like every phone. So your phone just sticks right in it.
Amazing.
Which, by the way, if you just saw my lock screen, is Master Chief. Therese makes fun of me all the time for having Master Chief on my lock screen. But I just press this button here, and then it takes me right to it. And then I can just start playing games from my Xbox and my phone.
Wow.
And so I've played a bunch of Assassin's Creed like this. Mostly just doing like raids and stuff. I try not to do any of the story stuff on this because I want to actually pay more attention when I'm doing that. But it's been an amazing experience. And now Teresa's been playing Tetris Effect and Ooblets, and also playing Viva Pinata again because she loves that game. So like now what I'm running into, and I think I messaged you this, I don't know if I said it to the whole group, but I might have to get like a Series S or something.
Oh boy.
Because I was like, oh, Teresa's on the TV, I'm just gonna play on my phone. And I was like, wait, she's playing Tetris Effect. I can't play Assassin's Creed.
Can is Tetris Effect on the One X? Could she just not use that?
Oh, I sold the One X.
Yeah, right. I forgot that. Yeah. One of the other lovely features I love about it, Tuna, is so if you're playing a game on your phone, right? So I've got this game, Hyperlight Drifter. This is the first time I booted it up on the phone. And you press the Backbone button, which is this red button here. Not only does it take you to the app, but it populates the app with the game and adds it to your library and adds like all of the background art. So all the games that I play on iPhone are here in one menu, kind of like the Xbox, home menu or whatever, or a PS5 or whatever. And so that's one thing I really love about it. It separates the gaming experience, and it doesn't just make games like another app. That it gives it like a home and like integration, and it feels like it elevates the gaming experience.
It just feels like an Xbox Switch. Like it feels like an Xbox Switch. I've only had one time where I felt like I had some latency issues, but otherwise, so I got us a small, like cheap projector. It was like $100, but it's good enough for a roof. And I was testing it out the other night. And so I literally just plugged like the HDMI adapter into the bottom of this, because there is a thing you can charge through it as well.
There's a lightning port, yeah.
And I was just playing Assassin's Creed on my roof through the projector, and it was fine. So
that's awesome.
It's fucking
Very
sweet.
cool.
I think you would like it a lot, especially like when you end up moving, because if you're in, you're going to have your games in your game room. And then if you're upstairs and you're hanging out, but you want to be playing something while you're kind of watching TV, you're not going to be able to do that unless you're doing it on your Switch. But now you'll be able to do it with
how much does Backbone cost? Gonna break my back?
$100.
$100.
The other thing, just as a heads up, Tuna, it connects to the iPhone through the lightning port. So there's low latency, low power. It doesn't require it to be charged or anything, but there's no like wireless connectivity. So you couldn't use it separately for your iPad. So like that's the only like thing because I know you like to play.
But you can just use your Xbox on your Xbox controller on your iPad. That's what I do.
Just use my exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
Just use my Xbox.
Just use
controller,
the
yeah.
Xbox.
But Tom, I mean, guys, listen. I mean, just bought a house. I don't think I have $100 to.
At some point,
$100
at some point or another, this is
boys.
I just have to say, like, it's a recommendation
Yeah.
Tom made that now that I have it, Tom was totally right. It's awesome. I love it. It's one of the best gaming devices I've had. It's great. So, do you guys have any games to talk about that aren't Assassin's Creed? Because that's the only thing I have to talk about.
No, I don't.
Oh, I was gonna say.
So I think Dan just messaged that he's not going to end up making it. His work schedule is nuts. So I think, if anything, then this is a good opportunity for us to also still talk more about Assassin's Creed, other than anything else you want to talk about, game-wise or whatever.
I started playing FIFA. I think I talked about this last week. So I've been continuing playing that. And I started up the Crown Tundra Sword and Shield DLC.
How is it?
And I really like it. I think it's on par with the other DLC experience. I think both DLC experiences are really strong, and I'm just loving the fact that here's 200 more Pokemon for me to catch and add to the Pokedex. So I haven't made it too far in it. I do want to talk about Assassin's Creed though. So let's jump right into it.
Assassin's Creed, let's do it.
So one thing I messaged you guys in the chat about, but didn't bring up last week because I didn't want to go on forever about it. I have two minor complaints, but these are structural complaints, so it's not an Assassin's Creed exact complaint. But what is with these fucking cursor menus? Like, Destiny is the first game I remember really seeing doing this at the beginning of last generation, and now it's everywhere. This Assassin's Creed menu, where I'm moving a cursor around with a joystick, would be amazing if I was playing with a keyboard and mouse, but I'm not.
Yes.
And they know people are playing this on the consoles, so why are they putting us through this? Navigating like the upgrade screen with the constellation, it's a nightmare. It's so annoying. It doesn't like easy snap to stuff that's like nearby either. Like, you'd think it would be smarter, like you're moving the cursor, you're getting close to the thing, and then it just snaps onto it.
It does slow down the speed the cursor is moving when you're over something that's highlighted. Yes. So there's that, but I mean, I agree.
I'll tell you something that pisses me off more.
I think it's good. One real quick thing on that cursor. I do think when you are in that menu to upgrade your skills, it makes contextual sense there. But the rest of the menu is pretty much.
But it only feels like it makes contextual sense there because they made it into a constellation.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like, I get the idea of making it look fun like a constellation, but like, let's be real here. People just want to upgrade their shit after the first couple times they fill out a constellation. I don't want to like have to go through this thing. I want to be able to quickly and easily see everything that I have on my tree that I can access and the ones that I can't. I want to be able to see it. Like, it's a little ambiguous, I think, and not intuitive. So
fair. What I would say is annoying is when I get a new piece of armor, the compare system doesn't really work if I've already upgraded the armor that I'm wearing, because it'll say like, I don't know, stat for something is 27, right? The thing I just picked up.
Yeah.
And what I'm wearing is like 35, but it doesn't, but that's because I've upgraded it a bunch. So I'd like to be able to see what the max upgradability is of each item that I have, instead of I guess I kind of have to guess what it is. Well, I feel like that's not that easy.
This is perfect though, because this goes right into my second complaint, which is video games that are not multiplayer based shouldn't tie stats directly to armor only if it's a cosmetic thing. You should if you pick up a new piece of armor, there should be a way to take those attributes but be like, well, this thing's ugly as fuck. Like, I don't want to make my character ugly as hell. Like, I hate this thing, but it has the stat I want. Like, the game kind of forces you to use armor that fits your playstyle, but you might not like the look of, or then to use armor that you like the look of, that's going to give you worse stats for the way you play the game.
Yeah, I mean, I've made my peace with the armor issue because I hated how it was done in Origins and Odyssey. I think that this is a much more preferable way to handle it. The less that I am with these big RPGs, the less I'm in the menu, the better. And that was the issue I was finding with Odyssey, was like, oh, this thing has this little boost. That with Valhalla, it's not perfect for sure, but I kind of don't care. It's just,
it's
nibble at
becoming
me
so grindy
mentally.
to upgrade, so that now if I get something that looks way cooler, I'm not going to use it, because I'm not going to want to start upgrading this new piece of armor again. And so that's where I think the problem with like all of your stats, like so many of them being tied to your armor, is kind of broken, right? Like, can't my just overall like use of defensive materials be higher? And then it's
well, I
just
think
like
that's built out by the skills, right? Like you have defense buffs and stuff like that. I really don't think, because I picked up I did the Yuletide mission, right?
Oh, I didn't do any of those fucking things.
But they had really cool weapons and armor.
Oh, did they?
You could pick
Oh,
up.
I regret it now. Oh,
so
well.
I have a short sword that I really like.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I was like, fuck, this is like half the damage of the axe. Fuck it, I'll use it. I'm gonna go get some crap to upgrade it. And as I was like fighting motherfuckers with it, I was like, oh, this is like still doing damage. I don't think that the advantages by upgrading and having more stats is that big. Then inherently it's kind of like, well, what the fuck's the point anyway?
Yeah.
They should have just had transmogging from the beginning. I don't know why they didn't include it, but it's not here.
But that's the thing that's bizarre to me, right? Because Destiny started doing that. But Destiny is the kind of game to me that I think shouldn't. Like, if anything, Destiny is the kind of game where you could argue, at least for the multiplayer, you want to be able to look at, oh, this guy has this kind of armor. I know what perk and ability that means they have. But with Destiny, they're like, actually, you can just put your skills and armor and everything. You can transmog it into another one so you can have your character look the way you want. So if you're going to do that in a multiplayer game, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to do that in a fucking single player game where it's not going to mess with balance. You know, it's like, just let people make their character look the way they want and upgrade their character the way they want. Don't sort of like make them choose between the two, because unless you're lucky, like I have this stupid like bear thing on me that I got because it came with the game, and I don't like the stupid fur that I'm wearing, but it goes with all the skill updates I have, so I'm still wearing it. So I just have it turned off. I do like that I can turn the visibility off. That is nice. But
what
how far are you?
I'm pretty far.
Okay,
but I'm not far enough. But I would say
the dilemma with Assassin's Creed.
Do what level you are? Your skill level?
Something.
Holy
something.
Shit.
But I do a lot of side shit. Like I do a lot of side.
I'm doing a lot of side shit.
Clearing an area. Yeah. All right. So here's what I'll say. The game is too long. It's way too long. It's like you're doing stuff in Norway, and like, you know, I spent hours in Norway, and then I came to England. I'm spending hours in England. Then you've got the Asgard, Jotunheim stuff, and then you've got the Vinland stuff, and then you've got like, it's just so much.
The Asgard stuff is a little too, was like the one thing that was like, all right, I don't know if we need this.
Yeah, I don't know if we needed it either.
It's cool.
But it was cool. That's the whole thing. Like, it's cool. And this is what I was saying. So at the beginning of the game, right? Like finding treasure and finding artifacts and finding side missions to do was fun. Now, I don't know if it's fun anymore because I know where they all are. It's just stressing me out that I have so many like pings on the map that need to be completed. And for me now, it's turning into this thing where, all right, let me go over to this thing, get the treasure. Let me go over here, get this mission. It's just going to be me shooting 5 targets maybe, or stacking some stones.
The game is bigger than it needs to be.
It's bigger than it needs to be, and I feel like it would be more fun if it had a discovery type aspect to it, the way that Breath of the Wild did, where I could stumble upon these things instead of it. Oh, there it is. It's marked. Like, let me go over there. Okay, 50 more meters to treasure. Okay, 120 more meters to artifacts. Like, I'm not discovering any of this stuff.
Sure.
Like, I'm not really discovering the world.
Yeah.
You're kind of just telling me where the pings are. Right. Let me find the pings. Let me be the cartographer almost.
Yeah.
Like, don't give me the map. Let me figure out the map. I think Nintendo's always been good about that.
The way that
Zelda.
they sort of showcase everything, I mean, that's sort of part of the thing I was saying with synchronizing, was like, it didn't feel like I succeeded doing anything when I synchronized, because they just hand you everything, which is fine. Like, give me some information. I don't know if I need all of the information, but also like then getting up to the synchronize, it was more of just like, all right, how far am I going to have to go walk to this? That's like, it felt more like that every time I did it. After the first couple times, it didn't feel like
I should get a
fun
ping.
event.
I agree. I think I should get a ping if I'm like 50 meters close to something. That will allow me to explore the world. I will then want to explore your world. Whereas if I just see the ping, I'm just going to ride my horse to the ping. I'm not going to explore everything around me. I'm just going to go right to the blue dot or right to the yellow dot.
All right, so how about this?
Yeah.
Let me know what you guys think about this idea. You've got all these raiders, right? Which, I don't know. Have you guys upgraded your raiders, like keep or whatever it is? They're like the place where they.
Of course.
I haven't. I need
Your
to go upgrade
hometown?
that. Yeah.
Like your village?
Well, no,
absolutely.
not my village, but they have like there's like a person who like takes care of the raiders in the village, right? Isn't there like a building
the
for
barracks.
that?
Specific.
The barracks, yeah.
Oh, I've just been kind of upgrading.
I haven't fucked with the barracks yet.
Been jumping around.
I've been upgrading other stuff, but I feel like the solution to this is to use the raiders. I should be able to send out the raiders to certain types of pings. Other than maybe like books of knowledge, I should be able to send raiders out to like get gold and armor and shit. And like, even if they can only bring back some, like it's like there's like an hour between each one, that's fine. Because just let me send them to certain ones that it's clear, like, yeah, I've done those. Like, I'm done with that area. I don't want to have to go back to there just to get the fucking like chest. Let me just send my raiders for that, and they'll come back half an hour later. And I can even take like a hit of like 80% of the cash on the money ones or so, you know, like that would be a good answer, I think, for that.
Sure.
I'm really back into this game hard. I took a break when Cyberpunk came out. That was kind of my RPG fix. And, you know, we haven't talked about this, but 2 days ago was the riots at the Capitol. And during that time, I checked out of everything. Like everything was consumed by the news. And I sat down.
It was almost impossible to work.
Oh yeah,
it was impossible to get anything done.
My boss called to have a discussion, and it was like I'm like looking out of the corner of my eye at the TV. It was like I couldn't even.
I sent stuff in like hours late yesterday, and then I was also late today. It's you know, so it was fine. But you know.
Yeah. Tom, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I mean, it was awful, and I was super consumed by it, and I was like, I need to have something go. I somehow need to pay attention to everything that's happening right now, and also take my mind off of it. So I was like, you know what? Let me just fucking boot up Valhalla and find wealth, find mysteries, find this. Just walk around and have fucking Jake Tapper on the background, whatever stupid fuck wants to talk about this. They're all stupid fucks. I was watching. I just want to say, I know we're not getting into it. I was watching those news shows. I am a nobody journalist, right? I am no one. Right. I am a better journalist than some of these motherfuckers. I'm a better journalist.
Every single one of us would have been.
Tucker Carlson.
I'm like, what? He's not even a journalist. He's not even a journalist. I'm not even considering. Yeah. He's a fascist. But anyway,
he's a propagandist.
So anyway,
he's a propagandist. Yes.
So, you know, it was parts frustrating, but I was like, well, these are the only people that are going to inform me anyway. But I was just enraptured.
What about the Coops?
He's not that great. So
he's got the mole vibe. I can't forget when he was on the mole.
I'm not saying he's not a compelling watch. I'm not saying that some of these people.
I want an Among Us style like the mole.
Yeah, it's the voice. I want like Anderson Cooper's voice narrating Among Us.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Among Us, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was just like, this game is just so much fun. And I was not even marking things like, okay, over here is wealth. I was simply just walking and looking at my crossbar and just discovering some of the coolest things in the game.
Discovering.
Yeah, I mean, it was, yeah.
Isn't there a setting to like turn some of the ping stuff off?
Oh, is there?
Well, I don't know about it in specifically with like highlighting elements on the map, but there is, at least in Odyssey, I haven't really come across it, I think, in this, but there was like a system where instead of it saying this is where the objective is, it would be, it's in this part of the map, it's by this landmark, and it's above this thing.
Oh, that's
and you
interesting.
have to find it on the map, but I don't think I've run into that in Valhalla at all.
I think the problem is there's too many things to have to find.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of walking around the map and playing it as close to a Breath of the Wild experience as you could. And I was just enraptured. And then today I had some free time to play some stuff. And, you know, I haven't finished the Cyberpunk story as much as I'm personally enjoying that game, despite it being a piece of shit. But it really was like, wow, this Valhalla just does so many RPG things better than that game. And I sat down to play more Valhalla, and I'm like, okay, we're on the Valhalla train again, baby. So
yeah,
I'm loving it, and I'm like, fuck. It almost was in my top 5. If it had maybe come out earlier and I had more time with it last year, I would have been. But yeah, number 6.
Awesome.
Number 6.
I'm into it. But from everything you guys keep saying,
yes,
it doesn't sound like I should play any of the old games. It
no,
sounds
you
like
should play Odyssey. I loved Odyssey. Oh, maybe not.
Maybe if I can get it for cheap, or if it comes to Game Pass, then at some point or
Yeah.
something. Because
because Ubisoft Plus, there was talks, I think, a couple of weeks ago while we're on break that Ubisoft Plus would get rolled into Game Pass somehow. So maybe that'll happen.
I still think there's a lot. Well, I don't know about a lot, but there's quite a few things that we could take out of the game or add to the
100%.
game. Makes it, we talked about it earlier.
It's a good game, though. I think for people that have listened, they should check it out if they have a chance. I enjoy it a lot. So, anyone have anything else, or should we move on to the news?
Hit us with the news, Chris.
All right, we're going to go talk about some news. There's some video game news. Some video game in the news. Again, after...
News.
Oh, back to these.
I'm just playing it from the file system.
Yeah, I guess if Ween's not going to be here in person, he can be here in the tune
spirit. Yeah. Well, here's some news for the Unranked podcast. We're going to be doing. So last year we were going to do, as we did the previous seasons, a fantasy league, but then I couldn't get it started early enough, and then COVID started to happen, and it was like, well, this is pointless, which was the right thing to do with the fact that like every game got fucking canceled or delayed or moved. And a lot of stuff just didn't get announced. So I'm glad last year didn't work out, but this year we're going to do it, but we're going to use the Fantasy Critic app and website to do it. So we're going to have one between the 4 of us again, as we usually do. But I was thinking we can get at least one league going for the Discord. Maybe 2, Tom. Maybe we do one where like 1 or 2 of us are in one or 1 or 2 of us are in the other. Just because if it's only up to like 16 people or something, or like 12 people, there might be not enough. So we're going to get our setup in the next week or so, but let us know in the Discord if you're interested in doing that, or send us an email, because then that'll let me know how to set that up for everyone to kind of play along in a Fantasy Critic League. It's their system I don't like quite as much as the system that we used, but they have updated it and changed it. So it's actually closer now to what we were doing before, and you can select more teams. Previously, it was like a very limited subset of teams you could select, and they had all these like counter pick systems and things. Whereas now it's a much like larger pool that you can choose from. So we can play it more the way we used to play the game. But also now no one's going to have to like every like week or couple weeks like go through and like start adding everything up and adjust changes and whatnot. So, and they use Open Critic as well. So like that's kind of taken care of as well for us. So that is some fun unranked news. Tom, do you have any video game related news?
Yeah, there's a couple of fun little bits and bobs here that we have. The first being that PlayStation is discontinuing the PlayStation 4. In Japan specifically, I imagine that the US will not be far behind. But right now, the PS4 Pro costs as much as a PS5 digital edition. Sony, in their wording on talking about discontinuing Japan, is basically saying, hey, we need to make more PS5s, and we cannot be doing that as long as we're making PlayStation 4s. It's a very quick transition. I know Xbox already with the Series X kind of transitioned away from the One and discontinued that over the summer last year. But
Didn't they discontinue the One X?
No, I think they discontinued the S and the X.
I think the S is the only one that sells right now. I think they have the Xbox One S is something you can buy. And I think they got rid of the X and the original one, which happened already previously, like when the S happened.
Microsoft just stopped making the Xbox One X. And the One S. Oh, all digital edition.
There he goes. Okay, that's what it is.
So the One S, I guess with a disc drive, you can still buy if you want that.
Yeah. I think the plan is probably to wait once that thing can get down to like $99, Tom. You know, if they can sell that for like 99 or 149 and be like, hey, you can stream xCloud games from next gen games and get next gen performance by just playing it on your One S, then it's like buying an expensive set-top box that supports like, 4K video and 4K game streaming.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on if they plan to do like a streaming stick eventually or something like that. But yeah, I think they're just going to build it into TVs. I know.
I'm just worried it's going to be exclusive to Samsung because that's what it sounded like.
Deal with that phone.
Yeah. That's which I'm like, fuck. I wish it was like that on like the LG because then I could at least just bring like the console down here and then because the console's been living upstairs. It hasn't been in this room like pretty much. Just got to play it on the OLED.
Oh, yeah, you got to play on the OLED, baby.
There's another piece of news for PlayStation that's similar that has something to do. I don't know if you were going to throw this in there, but for the first time since 1994, so since like the launch of the original PlayStation, Sony has sold less than 1 million consoles in Japan.
The first year, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, what was the economic effect with COVID in Japan?
That's probably part of it. And then it's probably part of the fact that they probably don't have enough PS5s. And
no one was buying a PS4. It was last year PS4, yeah.
But also their console market has been shrinking lately, especially without a handheld. They did better, like the Vitas and stuff did better there than they did here, at least like market demographic wise, because just portability was always, whereas like Switch is just kind of like dominant there right now. So it's just crazy to think, which is probably why we see so many Western focused games out of PlayStation instead of as many like Japan, like, it feels like PlayStation is like kind of in many ways, it's more run now by the Western Sony offices as far as like their creative direction,
100%.
So,
yeah. And I mean, that was the kind of hill. I mean, obviously Nintendo's kind of marched to the beat of their own drum and has so many successful IP that they'll do fine. But that was the hill that Sega died on. Sega refused to listen to the Western, Sega of America, and wanted to continue to do their thing and have their vision, and it's the thing that killed their console business. Not entirely, but that is a huge part of it. The whole deal with Nintendo getting the tech for the Nintendo 64. I don't know if you knew this, Tuna. I think Chris knows this, but the Nintendo getting the tech for the Nintendo 64, it would have gone to Sega for their next system. I guess the Saturn, I think would have been the system. But the company that the guys in America were like, we need to jump on this technology and get it. And the guys in Japan were like, no, we are directing how the next Sega console is going to happen. Nintendo came in, they snapped up that company, or at least snapped up that technology and made the Nintendo 64. And boom, the rest is history. So,
and then they made the Dreamcast.
And then they made the Dreamcast, which
that really killed them.
What a glorious swan song for them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, PlayStation is definitely dictated by the West, and I think that they probably prioritized selling as many units as they could in America, and Japan got whatever the scraps. So that's a shame. It's not surprising.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm honestly more surprised that they've sold over 1 million every year for the last 25 plus years. That's kind of wild.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, but it's a huge
Good for them.
brand, you know.
Huge brand.
Similar vein, at least, as talking about, you know, Western markets. Nintendo just bought up a studio, which is not something they do very often.
No,
They
I think
just bought-
2011 was the last time they bought a studio.
Yeah, and they bought Next
Wow.
Level Games, which, correct me if I'm wrong, that is a Western. Is that in Canada? Yep, Vancouver. So that's one of their only other. It's like they have retro studios. They have the Vancouver studio. What else do they have that's Western made? Do they have any other
let's
North
Google.
American
Yeah,
studios?
you talk about this Next Level acquisition, and I'll pull it up.
Well, Alex, did you ever play Luigi's Mansion 3?
Not 3, no.
Oh, it's very good. That'll give you something to do when you finish Assassin's Creed. Just go get that
There you
game.
Go
Luigi's
get it?
Mansion 3. Yeah, go get it. Just go buy it. You can do that. You can download it
get
to your
it?
console. Yeah, go get it.
Yeah, I'll go get it right now.
Go to GameStop.
Actually, the
I mean,
Switch
you
is
can go-
the Switch is packed away. Switch is gone.
Oh, it's packed up.
Packed.
Wow.
It's packed. It's actually at the house right now. The Switch is already at the house.
Wow. It's just waiting for
Yeah.
you.
Waiting there. I couldn't pack up the Xbox or the PlayStation yet. Just can't do it.
Can't do
That'll
it.
be
You
a
gotta wait.
day of move.
Well, if you ever played the reboot for Punch-Out or Luigi's Mansion's Dark Moon for the 3DS, which is pretty good, then you've
Mhm.
played Next Level Game. Those are two of the bigger games that they've made in the past. But I don't
Did
know.
you play
I'm
Metroid
excited.
Prime Federation Force? Because they also made that stinking pile of shit.
Oh god.
No, but I played
I-
Mario Strikers.
Oh, I love Mario Strikers.
Strikers is
That was
good.
like 10, 15 years ago now.
Mario
No,
Strikers is very good.
It was 19 years ago.
Oh shit!
Wait, Super Mario Strikers for the
It was
Wii?
19 years ago?
It was
No,
for
not
the
the
Wii.
Sorry. I'm reading the date for the wrong game.
No,
I'm
Strikers
reading
was not the
completely.
Wii.
2005, so 16 years ago.
Yeah, that wasn't the Wii. I think
What
that was late
was it GameCube?
I thought it was a GameCube
Oh.
title. I was convinced.
You know
it
what?
was
GameCube.
GameCube.
Is-
So when I said 15 years ago, I was right on. So fuck you.
There you
You
go.
know what? It came out, late 2005. I must have bought it and played it though on the Wii
It's possible. Yeah.
because you play GameCube games on the Wii. So I probably just
Right.
didn't get that. Huh? Oh
Right.
no, wait. Mario Strikers Charged. What is that? Is that the
Oh
one
my
that I had?
gosh.
They didn't make. Yeah, that's a Wii title from 2007.
Okay, that's probably the one that I played then.
Well, there
Is
you go.
that one? Okay, that was a very fun game. That's actually, I think, the best Mario sports title, other than maybe Mario Golf. I think it's
They
definitely
all-
better than tennis. Baseball was shit.
They made the second Luigi's Mansion as well in 3DS, and they made Captain America Super Soldier on the 360 and PlayStation 3, which
Oh.
was a surprisingly not shitty movie tie-in game. That when reviews came out, they were like, "Actually, this is pretty decent. Like it's not amazing, you know. It's not the
Yeah.
Captain America game we deserve, but it's a competent game rather than a steam pile of shit."
Oh my god.
So, I mean, this was and you're right, Chris. This and Retro are the only two Western studios they own. I mean, it just makes sense. I think Nintendo's not doing any of the crazy purchases that Microsoft and PlayStation are to expand, you know, their brand and be like, okay, we need this kind of wacky game or whatever.
Yeah.
This kind of wacky studio. They're just kind of like, hey, we've worked with you long enough. We trust you. This is a good relationship. Let's just own you now.
Yeah. I think, and you know, this is the thing everyone always says about Nintendo is like, oh, this is it. They're not gonna be able to compete anymore. It's the end of Nintendo. It's that everyone always says that, and then they somehow come out with the new thing that everyone wants more than everything else. But I am worried about how badly COVID has hit them. I mean, they put out so few games this year. And something tells me that last year, someone tells me this year in 2021, not going to be a big difference. And I'm worried that we'll see the next Switch possibly like come later than it would have, which is going to just like put them way behind. And that like, I'm worried this puts fucking Zelda to be a cross-gen game, possibly Metroid as well, Prime 4. Because Metroid Prime 4 just got rebooted again like a year and a half ago. Don't think they're done with that if they just rebooted again. Like, they've still been putting out positions for hires for that game. So unless they have more than one game going, you know, in the oven, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Nintendo has like a bunch of shit that we don't know about, and they're just going to surprise us with it. Like when they were just like, hey, here's fucking the Mario game like that they just like dropped over. What the hell did they come out with over the summer? They didn't like tell anyone about it.
3D?
Paper Mario.
Oh, Paper Mario.
Paper Mario came out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
It was just like, hey, Paper Mario, it's basically done. Here it is. Enjoy. It's like, wait, what?
Well, speaking of their future plans, a kind of wily Nintendo user has discovered in the latest firmware for the Switch and Switch Lite a reference to what is expected to be a new Switch model, a Switch Pro.
Oh, yeah. I would get a Switch Pro.
It says, as VGC reports, the new details were discovered by Twitter user Skyers M, who is described as a console hacker and data miner. When taking a look at the Switch firmware, he discovered references to new hardware carrying the codename Aula, A-U-L-A. It uses the same Marico Tegra X1 Plus system on chip found in the Switch Lite, will apparently be clocked higher so as to offer more performance. He expects the Switch Pro to output in 4K. And if the firmware is true, and the firmware suggests this is true, but not on the Switch handheld itself, Scribes found reference to a Realtek chip in the firmware, which is a 4K UHD multimedia system on chip. It's thought that Nintendo intends to add the 4K system on chip to the dock of the Switch Pro. So it's not in the Switch. It's
you dock it. I would probably get it, but I hope it's a short-term stopgap. I really think, I mean, look, this is going to be the 4th year the Switch will be out very soon. Like in March, it'll be 4 years of the Switch already. Last gen was 7 years long, and it was long enough. So the idea, I just worry that if they put out a Switch Pro, I don't want whatever the Switch sequel is going to be another like 4 years. I hope it's actually like kind of like they did with the 3DSs and stuff, and it's like a year and a half to 2 years. I think we should have a new Switch in 2 years because they can do the new Tegra chips and they can have DLSS, Tom, and they can render games low resolution and they'll look insane, you know? So
yeah, the final element of this is he believes, this hacker believes that the screen will still be 720p on the handheld, but it will use an OLED, which will, I mean, vastly improve.
Yeah.
That screen is garbage in terms of quality. It's like looking through fucking paper at a game sometimes. So yeah, that's fine. If we get those nice, you know, if we get an LG CX on our Switch, that'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, I would immediately snap up a Switch Pro. Would you pick up a Switch Pro, Tuna?
Probably. We'll see.
No.
I definitely would if it was like, if Breath of the Wild 2 comes out and it's not cross-gen like Breath of the Wild was and Twilight Princess was, which is why I feel like Breath of the Wild 2 will be. But Breath of the Wild 2 comes out and it's not cross-gen, but it's very much like the 3DS and the new 3DS, where it's like, oh, this game runs way fucking better on the better Switch. Just like Breath of the Wild ran way better on the Switch than the Wii U. I'm definitely going to get it just for that game. Like, you know?
Right.
Plus, now that we have these new consoles, I'm sure I'm going to start to feel like the Switch is much less powerful. I don't know if I cared about that before, but we're gonna get spoiled by these pretty quickly, I think. So
sure.
Only last thing I had left was Fall Guys has Doom costumes coming, and they look really good. Ooh. You can be the Doom Slayer. They got some of the enemies. They look really good. They're like fat and chunky, like all the Doom characters are. They're really good. They'll be here, I think, next week or possibly even starting this weekend. But they're limited time, so you'll need some crowns for them. So if you haven't spent your crowns, you might want to unlock some on your Fame Pass if you have any Fame Pass left to do that on. So they look really good. I'm very excited for them. I'll probably get the Doom Slayer myself. Tom, you have anything else?
A survey went out to Xbox users.
Oh, yeah.
Asking basically, hey, would you like a DualSense version of the Xbox controller? A recent interview with Phil Spencer also pointed that he was like, hey, it's cool. Like, Buck, Sony, well, bravo. But a lot of the questions on this survey, it seems, pointed towards, hey, would you be interested in this? And it's weird because they kind of leaned into this with the one with the rumble triggers.
Yes.
And which is still in the games and the current thing. So there's a little bit of that, but obviously it's not the whole controller having this.
It doesn't have the resistance. It's really the main thing.
Yeah. But I mean, the body of the controller is just regular vibration too. Because I think honestly, like as much as I like the resistance on the triggers on the DualSense, the the more I play like FIFA, for example, like every kick has a slightly variant in the haptics, and it's awesome. And so
I thought it was interesting when I read that article. I saw posts about it on places like Reset Era, and there's so many people being like, of course they're going to copy that. I'm like, first of all, that's what everyone does. Like Nintendo came out with the Rumble Pack, and then everyone had fucking Rumble.
Yeah.
but more importantly, don't you want that? If someone comes up with something that everyone's like, oh, this should be standard, then put it everywhere. Just do that.
And it will incentivize developers that are making cross-gen games to have more games with it in. Like, the big, not fear, but a lot of people have been like, well, will this developer add DualSense to their game if it's just for the PlayStation 5 version? How far are they going to go with that? But if it does become standard across the two platforms, that just means every game is going to have this awesome new tech built into it, probably. So, yeah, no, totally agree. It'd be the right move, I think. Maybe we'll see it on a Series 3 Elite Edition or whatever. However they V2.
Yeah. I have that V1. I might, if they do something like that, I might pop onto a V3 or something. But I hope they do it, and I hope they just keep AA batteries. There was that story that Microsoft is beholden to Duracell. They have a contract with them, and so the Xbox will always have AA batteries. I'll tell you what, I hope that stays forever. I don't like having to charge my PlayStation 5 controller, and it's so much easier to swap out.
Like it either.
It's just,
I agree.
When your battery dies, I would want to pop new ones in and not have to have a fucking like cable dangling off of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, much prefer it. So cool. Let's do
listener mail.
Yeah, we have listener mail. You can email us at unrankedpodcast.com. I'd love if you do that. Another way you can get a hold of us, beside going to our Discord, which is very easy to do. All you have to do is go to the show notes in the podcast, and there's a link for the Discord. And then there's a channel in there, which is questions for the pod, and you can leave questions. But you can also give us a call. We haven't had a voicemail in a minute. We don't always push it that much, but I'd love to hear from you guys. Tell us how you're doing in 2021. Give us some questions. Drop us a line at 805-738-8692. That's 805-738-8692. Or you could just email us or pop into the Discord. Both of those are obviously very easy to do. So we have one question here from Zerniak that I want to read, and it's, what's the biggest misconception about where you live? I'm from Minnesota, and people always think that Minnesotans are super nice and that it's always snowing here. Well, in fact,
Minnesota, don't you know there?
Well, in fact, everyone here is just as rude as anywhere else. They are just passive aggressive about it.
I believe
it.
Well, it also only snows 4 to 5 months a year, and our summers get up to 80 degrees.
Okay, I guess common misconception about New York is that we're all dicks. We're not all dicks.
Well, you talk about Long Island, because I want to talk about Brooklyn.
Long Island's pretty on the money with all the stereotypes.
Well, what does everyone think about Long Island?
That we're all like pretentious pricks, and
they're not dicks, but they are pretentious pricks.
Yeah, and that our shit don't stink, and we're like the backbone of America. Blah blah blah. Go ahead, Tom. Talk about Brooklyn.
I'll throw something in, Alex, for you about Long Island. Yeah, considering I lived there for half my life. A lot of people, the only thing they know about Long Island is the Hamptons, and the Hamptons are a very small part of Long Island, and there are a lot of places,
a tiny part of
and
Long
most
Island.
people are not rich like they are in the Hamptons, and a lot of them are
they're not.
It's just a giant suburb. It's basically just a gigantic suburb with some people that are really wealthy and a lot of people that are kind of, it's like probably the biggest middle class like area.
I was just going to say that between Nassau and Suffolk, the number of middle class people, it's huge.
Yeah.
And just the number of people here is insanely huge.
Yes.
But yeah, we're not all Hamptonites acting like, But do you remember this, Chris? I don't know if you had moved by then, but there was like this list that came out about Rockville Center girls.
No.
And it was on the money. I mean, it was like on the money.
Oh,
in terms of like the stereotypical. That's why I think like whatever you've heard about Long Island is probably true.
All I remember is not long after I moved, the Jersey Shore became large. Or when I say not long after, probably like several years after. But then the whole like Jersey Shore Guido movement started. And there was that Get Off Our Island website, which I bet still exists. And it was just about like all the dudes that are just spray tanning and like spiking their hair up and wearing gold chains. And they all look exactly the same. And I was like, boy, I am glad I missed out on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Tom, what's up with Brooklyn?
Yeah.
I would say it's a similar situation where a lot of people think of it like Williamsburg is Brooklyn, which is a very gentrified part of New York City, and all the white kids with money live in Williamsburg. And it is, but where I live, compared to some parts of Manhattan, like especially like downtown around Chinatown, are way more comparable to where I live in Brooklyn compared to Williamsburg. Williamsburg is like stepping into another planet, much like going to the Hamptons is so bizarre to the rest of Long Island that's closer to the city.
But I guess, Tom, I feel like the common misconception about Brooklyn is that it is very unsafe.
This is one of the safest places I have ever felt.
But I'm saying, I think the common misconception is that Brooklyn is very unsafe.
Yeah, I was going to lead into that thought. So no, it's totally cool. But I would say that I have never felt all of the places that people have been like, oh, that's, I lived in West Philadelphia. Like that is historically thanks to shows like Fresh Prince and other media. Like West Philadelphia is meant to be a shithole. I mean, there are parts of it that are not great, but I've never felt danger there. And once you leave like the edge of West Philadelphia and get into like Ardmore, Pennsylvania, it's like the fucking nicest place. It's like one of the nicest suburbs I've ever been to. And so, yeah, I think the two things are, it's not all if you believe that Brooklyn is just the Williamsburg gentrified area, there is so much more of Brooklyn than that. And then, I mean, I have never felt really in danger here. Although that being said, I think I might have talked about this on the podcast. When I first moved to Brooklyn, I was taking a train back from work, and I needed a haircut at the time because I was still cutting my hair, and I didn't have a place. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who I should see. So I was like, there's got to be one like just near my apartment, and we'll check it out, and I'll just get it cut short. And there was one, and I had to get off of the train one stop before I would usually get off. And I get off the train, I'm walking to the barber, and I put my phone away when he's doing my hair, and he does it 20 minutes later, takes off the thing, I pay him, I leave, I check my phone, and I get a text from my roommate who I'd known for like maybe a month at this point. He's like, hey man, are you okay? I've been trying to call you. And I was like, yeah, what's up? I'm fine. I just like stopped to get a haircut. And he was like, someone got shot on the corner of our block. And as I got on the train and came back, there was police tape. What?
Go ahead.
There was police tape and everything. And I think the police were just like just leaving as I was getting there. And I was like, if I had not stopped and got off at the earliest stop, I probably would have been on the corner of the street when it happened.
Thanks for that.
What?
what?
Well, let's talk about how it's, stereotypical not safe area.
Oh, but it is safe.
But
It's just-
shootings
here's
happen.
they happen everywhere. Yeah, and when you're in a
Yeah.
city, the population density is so high.
No, I just think it was funny that we talked about that. He goes into a story about a guy got shot in the corner.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was a lucky
All right, wait.
day.
I want to hear Chris's the LA misconception.
Oh, right, Chris.
Should you do a Delaware one as well, or should you just do LA?
Well, the thing about Delaware is people don't have any opinions about it.
People don't know it exists.
Like that's like really what it is. Like people don't really have
there's
opinions about Delaware. Like,
there's an opinion.
okay, well,
about
what are they? Because I didn't have any.
The only one I've heard is a little slow down there.
Well, no, that's slower, lower Delaware. That's the
Slower,
thing people
lower
say
Delaware.
in Delaware about people from southern Delaware.
That's the only thing I've heard is the slower.
We
lower.
didn't live in that part of Delaware.
Yeah. You just drive down there to go to the beach and then you come back. That's pretty much the only reason you go down. There's not really anything there but the beach. It's
Right,
here's the thing about Delaware. It's too small to have, like, it doesn't have an incredibly distinct culture. All of the culture in Delaware kind of revolves around the beach, University of Delaware, and the city of Wilmington. Those are basically the three like only cultural centers in the whole state, because the state doesn't have 1 million people and it's like the second smallest state in the United States. So it's like, it's a very low population, very small state. So everything kind of revolves around the college, Wilmington, where everyone incorporates their companies but doesn't run them out of. And then like lower Delaware, where you go to the beach, you go down south to go to the beach, because the rest of the Delaware, it's actually like the bay when you're near the water. It's not like the beach. So you can't do that in northern Delaware, because it's like across from Jersey, and it's just the water is disgusting from the chemical, what is that company? Who are those people? The DuPont chemical plants.
Oh yeah.
So you don't go in that water. You gotta go downstate. But basically most people only go to Delaware to stop and buy stuff at the gigantic mall where there's no sales tax. That is why 90% of people will ever stop there. Otherwise you just go straight through it. But LA, I think, has a lot of reputations that I would say the things that people get wrong have more to do with, I think, like structurally what LA is. Like, I think a lot of people think LA is just the beach, like it's all beaches, or a lot of people think LA is like all like Hollywood, or
okay.
Or they think LA is like just downtown Skid Row. And but that's the thing, like the culture has to do with those. So a lot of people just have like a picture of LA. They have like the beach people, like Venice Beach, and like Santa Monica, or they have like the people in the valley, like, or the Hollywood people, or like downtown. It's like, the thing about LA is it's gigantic. It's almost impossible to comprehend how big this city is. Like the greater LA city area is 12 million people. It's absolutely enormous. Like, unless you come here and you like go to the top, remember the peak I took you to at Griffith Park?
Yep.
Like where you can actually see all sides of it. You can't comprehend how big it is, because until I did that, even though I lived here for 6 months, I still had no idea how massive this city was.
LA is this city where you are in what you would consider the metropolitan area, or the downtown, and you get high enough in that part of it, and you're like, there's another fucking downtown a million bajillion miles away over there. And then when you're in that one, you're like, there's one over there. It's just, there is just so much of it. It's
you can walk 6 blocks and it's like you're in
stuff.
3 different neighborhoods. Like you're like suddenly in this like really rich like section, and then you're like, it's like all apartments and kind of run down, and then this other area is like you're suddenly at a big park. Like every mile or two is just a completely different kind of area. And that's like the thing I think people don't know. I think the problem with stereotyping LA, and also LA weather is just like it's always nice, is that it actually has a very large variation throughout it. And like, yes, it is more consistent, like the weather here. And like, yes, we do get smog and fires, but like not to the extent that anyone thinks. Like 99% of the time, it never is a part of my life that you have to think about or even actually see. And like, it actually gets cold is the thing people don't know. Like, it doesn't get northeast cold. It's not like I'm dealing with snow, but when you're a little
chilly.
Well, no, it's like it's going to be like, it'll be 40 degrees tonight once it's dark. I'm not going to walk outside in shorts and a t-shirt 40 degrees, but it'll be 75 during the day because it's the desert. So it doesn't retain any fucking water, so all of the heat goes away. So it's yeah, it's that's the thing. It's like it's hard to stereotype LA because you'll be right about a part of LA or a type of person in LA, but like most people don't work in entertainment. Most people don't. I know some people that have been to the beach like once and they've lived here for years because they live.
That happened to me in Miami. I never went to the beach. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. I lived right on the beach and I fucking never went.
So
yeah,
but yeah. So I think there you go.
By the way, everyone, everything you think you know about Miami, totally true. Everyone's coked up. Everyone is super vapid and into themselves, and great empanadas. That's it. That's all you need to know.
All right.
There it is. I was going to say, if you're a listener, you want to let us know the misconception. I think this is interesting. I want to hear about other places that we didn't talk about. So if you're from another area or you have a very specific misconception about your area, let us know. Whether you're from America or not, like if you're in another country, I'd love to let us know what stereotypes people think about where you live and what people are like are wrong. It'd be nice to hear from everyone out there. Alex, you prepared a game for today. Do you have any complaints?
Did I do the one about the woman at the register the other day? This is a very quick complaint.
I honestly can't remember.
No.
I think okay.
Well, it depends if this is a new woman at the register or an old woman at the register. Bad complaints about women at registers.
Well, it's not. It's a people.
Which doesn't sound great.
People at registers.
People at registers.
If you don't have your I'm lame. If you don't have your money ready when like the cashier's done ringing up all your shit, you're a real problem for society. That's my opinion. That's it.
But that's the whole thing?
That's it, yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, do you guys like agree, not agree? Do you not
I mostly agree. I mostly agree. I think especially right now during pandemic times, I want to be in and out of there so fast. I mean, I still try to avoid going as much as possible. Like we wait till we're like, okay, we're out of enough things that we have to go to the grocery store. I mean, right now it's very bad in LA, so that's like part of the reason why we're doing that. But if you're paying with cash, then definitely, you know, if you're paying with cash, I definitely agree. Like at this point, I almost always pay with my phone.
Oh no, I haven't seen that. I mean, I do, but like, I haven't seen that happen a lot.
Yeah, I guess you know what? I don't know if I pay attention to the other people the way you do, because I'm not looking for things to irritate me.
I am though, which is a big problem.
Like I bet this happens, and I'm probably waiting, and I don't know why I'm waiting. It's because the people aren't ready. But I'm just, I feel more about this way about like when I go to like a fast food pickup, like. I'll go to In-N-Out, and the person, if you've never been to In-N-Out Burger, the lines are always long. So the guy always comes up to the car, you roll down your window, you tell them what you want, and he sends the order in. You don't actually get up to the like podium and then talk into the speaker.
Right.
The amount of times I'm listening to like someone, a car or two cars ahead of me, they're like, oh, I don't know. What do you want? And then they're just like talking about it. They're like, I think I want, and I'm like, oh my God, you just waited here for like at least 10 minutes. You didn't know what you were going to order? What are you doing? Let's go. So yeah.
Yeah,
I'm on board.
It's the worst. All right. Let's hit it with the game.
No, I want to hear Tom's thought.
Oh, I was just going to say, speaking of misconceptions.
Oh, okay.
I'm not on the In-N-Out is awful train.
Yeah.
I am on the In-N-Out is fine train.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. It's good.
Just putting it.
I mean, here's the thing about In-N-Out and why people like it so much. It's really good when you consider that it's like $2.45 for a burger.
Hell,
and nothing is frozen. It's all always fresh. So it does have like, and you can taste that. Like they made the buns that, you know, so like that's why it's really good. Like, people are like, oh, I'd much rather Five Guys. It's like, I'm going to pay $4. Like you're going to, I could buy a meal for the whole car and you're going to buy a meal for one person. So yeah, I would hope yours tastes better.
Five Guys is like, hope I guess I'm not paying rent this month. Like sometimes, like it's like the most expensive burger you've ever had. It's fucking crazy. Rocks my world.
All right, Alex, what have you prepared today?
Yeah. So I was gonna prepare the Amazon game, but then I got distracted and I didn't do that. So instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little bit of video game trivia,
Great.
which is I feel like our go-to when we don't have any other ideas or it's too late to do anything real. And
Great.
then I had another idea that I had that will, be like a subjective type game.
Okay.
Great. So, all right. So I'm going to ask you a couple trivia questions, and that will determine who will go first in developing other things. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. First question is, which Mario character has appeared in all but one Mario Party game?
Wait. Do we all jump in and just say?
No. I mean, you can text me, but if you wanna, I'll let Chris. I'm gonna run this shit. So, Chris is gonna go first here.
Okay.
Chris, name a character. Name a character, please.
Waluigi.
No, Tom.
I was going to say Wario.
Wario is correct. Tom gets a point.
Is the answer he wasn't in the original Mario Party?
Oh, right. Sorry. In the 15 plus games that make up the Mario Party series, only Mario Party Advance did not feature Wario.
Oh.
There you
There
go.
you go.
All right. In 2012, students at MIT hacked the lighting system of an entire building to play which game? Chris?
Pong.
Nope. Tom?
Oh fuck.
Correct.
Tetris is
Yeah,
correct.
of course it's
Oh,
Tetris.
yes.
God damn it. I said Pong. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be Tetris. You son of a bitch.
It's a bunch of MIT losers.
Yeah. Chris, what are the name of the cartoon-like interludes that interrupt video game play to narrate a story?
FMVs, full motion videos.
No. Tom?
Animation? Oh, cutscenes.
Cutscenes is correct. Chris,
Oh,
what is
I
going on?
didn't
I'm giving you
understand the
first
wording
chance
of
every
the.
time. Oh boy. Yeah, the wording was stupid.
No,
It
that's
was
fine. I'm
stupid.
wrong. Yeah.
What was the first video game system released to be used in conjunction with a television? Chris, do you want to go first or
Let's
second?
let Tom
I'll give you
go
that
first.
option. All right, Tom, you go first.
The Magnavox Odyssey.
Oh, that's correct.
Very nice.
Fucking
Very nice.
Tom.
That was really good.
Okay, how much money does the average player spend on Fortnite? Who's ever closer?
My God. The average player.
Including those who pay nothing at all.
Is that over since its release in a month?
Tom, this is just a question I found on the internet.
But it could be thousands of dollars
Tom,
or it could be nothing.
That's great. I don't give a shit. The average player of Fortnite, including those who pay nothing at all, spends approximately blank on the video game Fortnite. Tom, just throw out an answer.
Okay. It's $12.
Okay, Chris?
That's so annoying that you picked that number. Because it's right in between the two numbers that I'm going back and forth on. So I'm gonna say $10.
Oh, Chris, it's $60.
Wow. The
Yeah, but
average
it's
person
probably
pays
over
$60.
But it's since it's released then.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Chris, which one of Star Fox's teammates has been deemed one of the most annoying video game characters of all time?
Slippy.
Correct. What is the highest grossing arcade game of all time?
Miss Pac-Man?
No.
Good answer. Oh. Highest grossing. Time Crisis.
Can we take a second
Chris,
guess?
you want to? Yeah, go ahead.
Donkey Kong.
No. Tom?
I think I know this. Is it? Oh shit! What's the name of it? Legend.
Nope, you're wrong. It's
Okay.
regular Pac-Man.
Ah.
I thought for some reason I remember people thinking like Miss Pac-Man was the more popular game for some reason.
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
No.
Huh.
What was the name of the virtual pandemic that struck the World of Warcraft in 2005?
Oh fuck.
You want Tom to go first?
Yeah.
Tom, you go first.
Gas monkeys.
Nope. Chris?
Wait, did you say gas monkeys?
He said gas monkeys. Yeah.
Like monkeys made of gas that crawl up your bum.
All right. I'm gonna go with glitches.
You know what the problem with this question is? And I know that
What's
Chris is having this issue. Mythic Quest spoofs this in their show, and I just cannot get that episode of the show out of my head.
The correct answer is corrupted blood. How many different shapes of 4 connected blocks are there in Tetris?
Wait, say that again.
How many different shapes of 4 connected blocks are there in Tetris?
All right, could I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm not going to share my fingers. Sorry.
7.
Correct.
Oh my
That is
god!
correct.
2 Z's,
Chris.
2 L's. Yeah.
Which Mortal Kombat character has the ability to transform into a dragon?
Oh my god. Is that any Shang Tsung?
Nope. Tom?
Scorpion.
Ooh,
Nope.
Can we guess again?
Chris, you want to go one more time? Yeah.
Fuck. Shao Kahn.
Nope. Tom?
Iceman or whatever his name is.
Sub-Zero. Wait, one more.
Sub-Zero.
Oh, you son of a bitch, it's Liu Kang. God damn
Liu
it.
Kang.
God damn it. I couldn't remember. Like, it's either the main, it's either like the lead villain or the lead guy. Damn it.
Mhm. Which iconic actor provided the voice of the titular character during the 1990s Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon?
Oh my god.
Tom's getting in on the cat action.
She is doing something. Yeah, you can sit there. That's fine.
You definitely
know
know
it's-
this.
I can't remember what show the person was on. And so now I'm like bouncing back and forth between different sitcoms. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I feel like I'm on point with that.
You are.
I'm gonna guess Jaleel White.
That is correct. It
Oh.
is Steve Urkel, Julia White. All right, and all right. So that's gonna end the trivia portion of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Tom's ahead by maybe a couple points. But the next question is, if you were to develop an unranked video game, what would it be? What type of game would it be? What's the plot? Who's the enemy? I'll give you 15 seconds to
Wait.
come up
So what
with
are the
it.
4 things we need?
You need
The genre?
You need the genre, you need the plot, you need the enemies, and you need, like, I don't know, give me like a mechanic.
Okay. So I need a genre, the
Give me
plot,
like a
the
gimmicky
enemies,
mechanic.
and the mechanic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom, you thinking?
I'm thinking I have something soon. Okay, I've got it. I got mine.
You want to go first?
Yeah.
right,
It
go
is all of us.
Uh-huh.
The aim of the game is that we're meeting up for a unranked meetup. We're going to Korean barbecue. All right. And at first, it's 4 different game styles for each character. For you, Tuna, it is a GTA 5 set in Long Island style game. You're trying to get to Manhattan. And you are trying to get there as fast as you can, but you are also having to pick up as many Dunkin' Donuts as possible. So maybe it's more of a Crazy Taxi style thing, but that helps get you faster. It's like your speed boost. So there's that. Then we've got Dan, who has to get his work done before coming to hang out. And it is a puzzle Tetris style game. There's blocks because he does animations, he does graphics, right? So it's lining up the graphics for the screen and everything. And once you complete that, he's heading out to Korean barbecue. You've got me. I have a kind of visual novel game. That's the gameplay. So you're clicking on, it's like a picture book that's happening. You're clicking on like dialogue options, shit like that. And then Chris is Tony Hawk Pro Skater because he lives in LA, and he is pro skating his way to New York City. And each level is a different location based in a different state or city between LA and New York. And then when we get to Korean barbecue, the villains are all the other patrons, because Korean barbecue is always a miserable thing. You're always packed in tight and everyone's loud. And the ultimate goal is to eat it as fast as possible so we can get the fuck out of there.
All right.
That's pretty good.
It's good. It's good.
It's pretty
It's
good.
good.
There you go.
I love Korean barbecue.
I love
Chris?
Korean barbecue.
All right, so it's an adventure platformer.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the game Trine?
No.
Okay. It's a very cool adventure platformer with like a puzzle mechanic, and the only reason I'm explaining it is where you can switch between different character classes. So like you have like a wizard and adventurer, and they all have two different things. So it's an adventure platformer. It's third person a la Mario Galaxy. Each level of the game is an episode, and we get scored on the episode out of 5 stars, like a review score, based on how well we perform. So the more hits we take, the more sloppy our platforming is, the more star points you lose throughout. The power up that you can get throughout each level is going to be based on the Pokemon of that episode. So it's like it starts out, you go in order as the episodes go. And then the variables will just have to do with like what's happened on those episodes. So it would literally just be taken from like our show. So if we talked about like drinking on an episode, like there'd be like an alcohol mechanic, and each one of us would have different character classes based on either personal attributes or gaming attributes. So you'd want to hot swap between us to like get through the different parts, and you have to get to the end. And there'd be little quests along the way that you have to do, which give you the performance that are based on listener mail. So like you get different listeners that come in, and then it's like, so this one's not just a platformer. It's like we all have to like do a thing. So now I have to use all 4 people. I can't just main this one with like Chris and Alex this time, because I have to use like Dan and Tom to get through this part.
Right.
I like it.
Okay. I like it. Very good. I'm going to award 11 points to Chris, 7 points to Tom.
And
I think
15 points to Gryffindor.
Hey. So I think Chris wins the trivia unranked podcast bullshit.
All right. I like trivia unranked podcast bullshit. I mean, the good thing about trivia unranked podcast bullshit is just like all of our other games, it doesn't matter.
That's correct. It's not like we're giving out steak dinners anymore.
Oh, that was a thing at one point.
It was.
That's an old joke. I feel like I'm going to go back. I haven't listened to an early episode of the Unranked podcast in a very long time. I feel like I want to go back and listen to a very old episode just to see what the fuck the stupid inside jokes were, because I forgot about that. That's crazy. Well, this is where the outro music will play.
Oh, okay. So Tuna Targaryen on Twitter, Tuna Targaryen on PlayStation, and Tuna Space Targaryen on Xbox.
Tom.
Brave Brick Tom on each and every platform.
Feel free to, we haven't asked for a long time, but if you want to leave us a review, that'd be great. But more importantly, also just, if you have someone you can share this with, if you want to share it with them, we appreciate it. Send them to the Discord, hop in our Discord, leave us some questions, send us some mail. We love hearing from you. I'm at Christian_Humes on the Tunes on Twitch and Games, and we are the Unranked Podcast. Till next time, everybody, stay unranked.
Tom?
Suck
it.
Suck it.
So
I was gonna do like a Trump suck it thing, and I was like,
no, we don't need that.
God, yeah,
we don't need his name and mentioned.
No.
So Tom, your video for me was going in and out green throughout this podcast.
Yeah, I have solid green for Tom the whole time. So
I didn't have it the whole. I just had it. It went off. It just went off.
So maybe it's just like a Zoom
thing. Just went back on.
Yeah. It could just
Solid green
it
just
could
went
just
back
be.
No,
I mean,
it's off now.
Is this the post show?
Oh, it's on. It's on now. It's on.
Wait a second. Hang on. Hang on.
Show.
While I'm
What?
talking, is it kicking into green? Because maybe it's
mine's
just
still green. It never.
No, it
changed.
is actually.
for Tuna.
For
is
me,
when I'm
it is.
talking?
Yes, Tom. Whenever you talk, there it is. It turns green.
So it's the green border for some reason is just across my entire face. It seems.
Pretty
And
much
for some reason, it's happening like on Chris's end the whole time.
the whole time. All right, I have a question for the post show,
All right.
and I guess I'm maybe embarrassed to even admit this because I've let this go for so long. What is ray tracing?
And now, the only reason I'm shaking my head at you because
Uh-huh.
there was a point like a few episodes back where I talked about how I was pumped to see ray tracing used as a mechanic, and I thought
Yep.
I described what ray tracing was during that.
No, I didn't really get it.
We've talked about it.
I don't really. I still don't really get it.
Are you
Yeah.
bringing this up because we played Worms Rumble,
We played
and I
Worms
was
Rumble, which
I was
terrible.
talking about.
Oh, you didn't like
Hated
it?
Hated it.
Oh,
You'd
that's
probably
unfortunate.
like it. I
Oh,
hated
okay.
it.
We didn't really.
Yeah,
I
you'd
don't think
like
we
it.
gave it enough time. It was.
I gave
fun.
it enough time as I want. Yeah. Nope.
okay.
But I was surprised at how beautiful it was because it had ray tracing.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
And
shit.
so-
But how
I
can you
kept-
tell it has ray tracing?
because it has real reflections. It is a base. It basically means that the game is not simulating the use of light. It is actually happening in real time. So you will see everything in the world
Ray tracing.
Yeah. In the past,
as opposed to what?
they've called it like
I didn't know what rays. I didn't know what ray meant.
Oh,
they just thought it was like a term. I mean, think of
I thought it was.
let's be fair. Terminology in video games, we used
No,
to
it's
have blast processing.
Yeah,
and
it's
like
bullshit.
Yeah, give
it's
me a
always been
fucking
fucking. But yeah, it used to be called path tracing, which I think is actually which is like a subset of ray tracing. I think that's actually a more apt name because it just traces the paths that light follows.
Right, that's one element to ray tracing. Yeah.
Right. But I think that's easier for people to understand. It just doesn't sound as nice as ray tracing.
So, can I got to show the viewers.
Okay.
Turn this around.
Let's see it.
I got a picture from Candy as a housewarming.
Oh, that's
Yes.
what that is. You sent this picture to the group while you guys were all playing something, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think I have the
We
reference for this.
when you were like question mark, we're like, no one tell Chris what this is about. And then Dan was like, oh yeah, totally, that makes perfect sense. Or
Well,
something.
when he said that, I was like, okay, cool. I
Yeah,
know what they're doing.
Yeah,
So I'm not gonna even ask.
Candy sent
Right,
that.
you're not
photo.
being involved.
Yeah.
So that's from Candy. It's getting thrown in the trash apparently.
We'll
Getting
keep
thrown
the
in
frame.
trash, apparently. Yeah, keep the frame. But
Keep the frame. There you go.
Yeah. there it is.
There it is.
Wow.
Well, thank you for telling me. What
Here, let
ray
me show you
tracing was.
something.
I appreciate it. Please don't whip out your penis.
I'm gonna show you my pussy.
I was close.
He's like, I'm going to show you my dick, and he just pulls out a guy called Richard from under the desk.
I got these two little cat beds for in here, and ever since I got it, it's amazing. They don't try and jump on the desk or anything anymore because they always just want to be in the
Right.
room I'm in. So they will just
Right.
hop in their little bed and then just stay there all day until I leave the room. Sometimes I get up and I leave and they're still
Nice.
sleeping, and then I just hear them from upstairs like meowing because they don't know where I am. They
They're
like
like,
wake up. They're like,
"Where
"Where'd
are
he
we
go? What
That's
happened?"
hilarious.
Amazing.
He's just been snoozing this whole time. He hasn't moved. It's great.
Snooze, lose.
So I don't know if you can tell, but I have a slightly different angle for my camera today.
Someone, I guess.
A little bit.
yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
So the way I had my room set up before, part of the reason why I hadn't done any of the permanent like putting stuff up and managed it is it's always driven me nuts. So there's a weird issue with the way they designed this room when they built it. There's a closet in what I would say is sort of like a non-ideal space. So like this is the only uninterrupted wall in the room because to my right there's a bathroom door, and then to my left there's a window, and the window's also in like a bad spot because it's like just too far to one side to like not be able to put the desk without it like kind of blocking the window a little bit, and then on the other side it'll be blocking the closets. So I finally said fuck it, and I was like, I just need to. The way I had it set up before was like really good to have space behind me, but then when you walk in, it just wasn't conducive. And I got this treadmill that folds in half, and I want to use it, and it's been like a pain in the butt. So I was like, okay, I just need to change everything. I put my desk all the way against the wall, and now I've got so like actually you can see like I'm actually like very close to the wall now, but I put my monitor, which is on an arm, on the side of the desk, so that now like I'm actually sitting. My desk is on my side. I'm like actually like just looking out into an empty room, but I have the monitor swung out in front of me so that I can still have the backdrop behind me. It's been a real pain in the ass trying to like get stuff set up the way you want. Do you know what I mean? It's just
I mean, I get you, man. I have this like L desk, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be perfect. And I just have so much stuff on it, and I have so many cables. I will just never have proper cable management because like I'm always having to unplug things or add things, it's so fucking annoying.
I got this like small power strip, so it has like 4 power cords and 3 USB things, and it mounts on the desk. So now I have outlets like on my desk with USB as well, which is cool. But I also just got I got a cable box, Tom, and you put your like power strip in the box, and it mounts under the desk so that you can wire all the cables like into it. But like it's a never ending like trying to get it perfect kind of way. But since like this is like basically my room to use as the office, I'm like, I need to make this work because I'm annoyed every time I would walk in this room and I can't actually have it work the way I want to. So now I finally was able to figure out how to happen. And I'm excited to start using my treadmill. I also bought a punching bag to use in the garage. I convinced Therese we're going to seal the garage floor, which if you don't know what that means, they put down like an epoxy coating. So it's almost like you're walking on like a gym floor, which will be nice for just walking around in there, period. But we're going to put up a dartboard on one wall. So just pull the car out and I can use like the dartboard.
Tuna. There you go.
Right. I told Alex to get one. We can play darts like online against each other. I think that would be fun. Yeah, I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
Are you getting a dartboard, Tuna?
I have one.
So there you go.
So have you started moving shit?
Yeah, he just said the Switch is at his house.
Oh, I thought it was boxed up. I didn't know that.
Critical listening, you fuck.
No, the Switch is actually over there, but
I wanted to bring this up as the last thing of the post show. Doesn't Tuna look like the poster from Eraserhead right now?
Gosh, it looks just like everything looks green. I hope that doesn't look like that for the listener.
You know the poster for Eraserhead. You know it.
Yeah,
you know
I do. Your hair's you gonna get a trim?
Yeah, probably.
Looks great.
He just did my hair this weekend, which was very nice. So I got nothing left. Thanks for listening, everybody. See you next week.
Bye, guys. Phalanges.